This conference will now be recorded.
Everyone, welcome to this session. It is almost 20 minutes past 2 p.m. India time, and as moderator for this session and as your trainer, Vijay Shukla, I welcome Mr. Sonu Tyagi, who is a senior business analyst at GlobalLogic. Sonu is an engineer and a computer science and an IT expert, and he has got a very distinct track record as a business analyst, and he has been able to traverse this path over last 7-8 years. So his progress has been good, both in terms of expertise, edge, experience, and the designations which he would have, designation and responsibility which he had covered. So the purpose of this session is primarily to listen from someone who is already ahead in the curve by several years as to what we can do to learn how we can equip ourselves to succeed as a business analyst, how should we enter into this profession, and how should we plan our career in a manner that we remain successful and our career trajectory is able to face the test of the time. So, Sonu, it is over to you. You may introduce yourself, and then the stage is set for you to take up.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay sir. It's always very welcoming and very exciting to meet you, whether it is physical meet or we are meeting online or on phone. Hi everyone, I'm Sonu Tyagi and I have 7 years of experience as business analyst, product owner, or I have played role also in product management also. And I have worked in several industries. So insurance is one of them, property and casualty insurance. Currently, I'm working in data part. So I'm data product owner in GlobalLogic. So past for last 1 year, I'm working in GlobalLogic. So I have played many roles here: business analyst role, product owner role. I'm also doing some advisory role. So I'm telling you these roles because we can get fit everywhere. So whether it is product management, product owner, business analyst, consultant, anything, you learn things, you get fit. And a part of that, I have also gained knowledge in payments, banking. So yeah, that's all in nutshell about me. And I'm looking forward to have this conversational session with you. So you have any question, maybe I will try to answer that question. If I can't able to answer, I will get an answer in 1 or 2 days. I'll get back to you. So yeah, so let's take it more conversational rather than doing some preaching things.
Okay, so this a conversational session will always be better. And so, how shall we start? So, will it be okay if you start a bit more about your career journey, how you have reached up to this place as a senior business analyst?
Okay, okay. I started as started working in IT. I had my own business also when I started right from the my college. I was doing my engineering. Then I was in IT somehow. So not in the development, not in the product life cycle, not in the software development life cycle. But I knew IT. What is IT? Like information technology industry. So that's all I knew, and all of you know that part, right? That's why you are here in this course also, or we are talking here. And I took this course in 2017, somewhere around I think April or May. I don't exactly remember, but I
It was
this was the
May and
time, I
June,
guess.
May and June of 2017.
Yeah, yeah, May and June. Yeah, and then I started working in different companies. I took role in my current company. Then I took the change my company in 2019. That was like my like amazing career have been the I was working for a company called Primer Software Corporation. So from the headcount wise, it was a small company, but learning wise, it was a giant. I'm telling you. So I will tell you those experience, like what I have faced and how can all we like move in that career. So that will be interesting to listen and to follow, I'm sure. Then I like every time when I was switching, I was having multiple offers. So it not just after COVID. So this great resignation era. Before that also, I had 6, 7 offers in my hand when I was switching. That was so. It was always very difficult to. I used to consult with Vijay sir also that where should I join now? I don't know. So that was the situation. So there is a strategy, there is a plan, there is a learning, there is a everything you have to put there. So like it's not a movie or Bollywood film. So you just put your stick and magic stick and you are business analyst now, you got a job. So it doesn't work like that. You have to follow a plan, you have to create that plan. So yeah, so my learning is so far in these 7 years is identify your strength. When I'm saying your strength, I'm not talking about up jaldi jago morning. We can all understand Hindi, right? Up jaldi
Yes.
jago morning mein you do that, you do this. So this is not the case. So let's say what when I'm saying identify your strength, we all have learned or maybe we will learn that Pareto analysis, the 80-20 rule. So those 80% value comes from those 20% features in every product or in life, right? If you are going to introduce yourself, like my value is coming from because I'm business analyst, that's why I'm working in a company, that's why I'm earning, that's why I have a family and everyone is respecting. That's all. And that is why I'm here in this call, right? So that's a value creation. So that analysis. So let's say you are learning 10 skills in this class, or we are learning 10 skills, right? We learn online in this class. Identify top 2 or 3 skills, focus on those skills, try to get you fit in those skills. Those are going to work for you, not all those 10 skills. So that analysis is most important part for us in this career. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll open for everyone to have a like Q&A session here, so that will be more interesting, I guess. Or Vijay sir,
Okay.
if you have any
Okay.
question, that is also fine.
I think Q&A session will be better, and I will moderate that session. And dear participants, we will always prefer a written question over and above a oral question. So what you can do, anyone who has got a question in his mind, you can put up your question in writing in the message window. I'll take that up and I'll read it out for Sonu. One thing. And in the meanwhile, while we receive these questions, you can just send me a message that you would like to speak, and I'll ask you to speak up. One, two. Sonu, if we as the topic of the session is how to enter into or how to take up a business analyst role, and how to prosper in that. So you have,
Okay.
as far as your career journey is concerned, you have seen both of it. So can we start with the difficult part first? Because many of my students find this part as very difficult as to how to enter into the business analyst role. And then as you answer your question, then I will open the discussion for supplementary questions from participants also.
Sure. Thank you, Vijay sir. Yeah. So, like, how to enter in this career, business analysis career? So, let me tell you, business analysis career is something. It comes from experience, like, it comes from learning, and this is challenging role. If anything is going wrong, everyone. I'm telling you the real time experience. I'm telling you the experience from the industry, everyone is going to point finger at you. Now if let's say somehow we got into role, then how will we survive? That's the main part. But before that, how do we get into role? That is the main part what Vijay sir is, and all of you are trying to know, right? So first thing, identify your skills. That was I was just telling you just 2 or 3 minutes back. Just identify your skills. That one part. Another part is I want you to fail because I failed. I learned from those failures. So I will pray all of you don't get a job in your first 5 interviews. I will pray this to God. Okay, so don't mind, because these interviews are going to main part to tell you how to get this job. This interview, and don't take like when I'm telling you this interview, you will get some assignment in this interview. So usually what company does, they send you some sort of assignment to complete. So take those assignments very seriously. You get your selection or not, you get your job or not, you got whatever you wanted to or not, but those assignments are going to put you 2 years ahead of your time, right? Am I audible, right?
Yep, you are audible.
Okay. So in every interview, so just there are thousands or lakhs of jobs in Naukri.com. There are 20, 10,000, 5,000, 700, 800 jobs. They are posting daily. In this down market, jobs are getting posted, but you have to identify your job. So there are two or three things we have to take care. One part is the domain. Do we have a domain expertise? If yes, then try to find job in that area only. Try to cover those area. If you don't have domain expertise, then try to find some generic job. When I'm saying generic, so generic means you are open to get into any domain. You may be ERP consulting, or a part of that maybe energy and utility or healthcare, whatnot. Okay, open for those roles, because they usually don't ask you domain questions. So usually what happens in domain interview, your one round will be a domain interview, purely domain, no BA or no PO skills. Another one is the BA PO skills, the core what BSR is teaching you, and then the door manager HR round. This is how it happens in the companies. So first identify yourself, identify your domain, identify your skills, then create your account. You all of you have those accounts. So what happens? Try to analyze that Naukri.com account in specifically India, Naukri, not Naukri.com, in US, that Dice or Monster, something like that. So you are getting traction on those accounts or not. That's the one part. In your profile, you can always see how many people are seeing my profile, how many keywords I'm getting from those Naukri.com account, and which keywords. Right? Obviously, if you have uploaded a resume of business analyst, you will be getting those keywords. So maybe it could be BRD, it could be Agile, it could be Scrum, it could be your UML. So try to find those keywords where people are actually searching you on Naukri.com. Okay, one part. Another part is try to update your profile in every 2 or 3 days. So your resume is on the top. When people are downloading, HR is downloading, you are there. So these are some back end stuff you have to do. And the front end stuff, always try to learn your skills, try to create assignment, whether you are getting that assignment in the classes of Vijay sir, or you are getting assignment from the companies, or try to create assignment, try to identify those assignment, how to solve a problem. So one part is, since end of the day, what you are going to do as a business analyst, you are going to build a product, you are going to create a product. So you have to think like a product person, right? You have to do that. Ultimately you will move in that direction, the product direction. You have to follow those all things, the all rules, how product should work, how product should create it, how product should be like planned, what is the product definition, what are the rules, what are the goals, what are the short term vision for that product. So try to get fit in that direction. So this is how a plan things should be planned to get into this role. So this is business analyst role is just to start you in a role, right? But it has so many things, not just maybe you are process modeler, that is also business analyst. You may have some data work, maybe you are working on some ETL, writing ETL processes, or doing something else in the analysis role itself. Or you are doing the pure requirement work, you are gathering requirement, you are preparing the document, or you are doing just pure prioritization in the product, or you are creating roadmap of the product. So could be different thing. But if you want to have some exposure, my only suggestion is don't run behind multinational companies, at least for 2 years. At least for 2 years, don't run behind multinational companies. Try to find some small company, 200, 300 people companies, fine. You are going to learn a lot. This is my suggestion. You can easily go there, you can easily crack them, right? Crack them. When I'm saying, they have difficult interview than MNCs, but they want people to work, they give responsibility. Maybe you have to work as a QA, you have to write some edge conditions. These are the things which defines this, which makes you out of the crowd, right? If you are coming up with some edge condition in the product, in the conditions, you are writing some acceptance criteria, and you are writing those top notch edge conditions. What if it happens like that? What if it happens like that? So this is how it works. Yeah.
Okay,
Any
so
questions so far? Any
yes,
confusion?
now I think our audience must be quite eager to put up their questions. I will just summarize what you have mentioned and what I have heard. You can add to it. So what you have said, that domain expertise, if someone is having that domain expertise, one has to be good in that domain. One, if you do not have a domain expertise, do not worry. There are so many companies which are basically having generic BA positions. For that, I think, as you mentioned, one has to be good in at least 1-2 areas, maybe Scrum, maybe SQL, maybe BPMN or process modeling, something like that. And then there is a strategy as to how we should basically update our CVs on portals like Naukri.com, Dice, or Monster. That should also be keep in mind. Okay, so
Yeah,
now I think for this part of the session, please let me check if there is a written question. I'll take that up first. Otherwise, so no written questions as of yet. So anyone who would like to speak, or what I may do very quickly, I'll go in the alphabetical order, and I'll give chance to everyone at least once. So Abhishek, do you have a question? Would you like to speak? And Anjali and Avnish, I'll come to you after that.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anjali, do you have a question? Would you like to talk to our speaker?
No, sir. I'm great to have this part of this conversation, but it is nice. It's nice going on. I'm
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. Avnish, Lijoy, or Nishant, and anyone from three of you, if you would like to speak.
Yes, I
No,
have.
sir.
Actually, Sonu was telling, Sonu, like few minutes ago, like you were telling, right, like about like, is it F condition or H condition? And like, can I know where we use that one?
okay. So as condition, when I'm saying, so when you are writing an acceptance criteria, okay, so you have learned how to write BRD, FRDs, right? You have
Yes,
learned how to write a user story, right, Nishant?
yes, yes,
So as a user, I want to do that so that I could get that benefit, right? So this is how we write a user story. But user story is just a title. I know what to do, but acceptance criteria is what to do, how to do, right? That is the most important part for a developer. They are going to read that acceptance criteria and they are going to build that feature. So as conditions are, let's say, uh, I'm trying to sign up in e-commerce application, which is the most relevant example here. In e-commerce application, okay, I signed up. Then suddenly I put the forget password option there. Okay, but I do not want to forget password. I just want to sign up. That was a mistake. Some mistake happened, or some misuse case happened, right? Or some other conditions are multiple people are trying to sign up at some one portal. So that could be one condition. So these conditions we have to think from future perspective. What could be possible condition in any application is someone using that application. These are the conditions. Some conditions are very straightforward. So straightforward what I'm saying. So I'll give you one more example that could be more relevant, I guess. So let's say I have to sign up. I signed up the success condition. Okay, the positive flow. I went in that application. I search some product. I view that product. I go to add. I just add that product to the cart. Then I make the payment and the purchase is done. This is the positive flow, right? But there could be some another part also when I'm making a payment. So the possibility is banking applications are down, the APIs are not working, they are not sending the response, right? Payment will not happen, order will not happen. In this case, what will you do? These are the edge conditions. How will you do those parts? Exceptions, right?
Yes.
So I'll give you one more example. So currently, like around 15 days back, I was doing some advisory for world's largest travel tech company. Okay, so that was like I was trying to what we call it, loyalty. So I was trying to change their loyalty program, and in loyalty people usually use their reward points. So possibility was we were doing that in the bulk loyalty, so people could have won those loyalty points, and we have already done that part. So that could be a problem for a company. So these are some conditions we have to think from that perspective. When you learn, when you start building those applications, you start writing those acceptance criteria, or you start writing BRD, you started those cases there, you will get more about that, you will start thinking more about them. So those are as conditions basically.
Okay. Okay. Lijoy or Avnish, any of you? Yeah, Lijoy,
Uh,
please go ahead.
yes, sir. I have a small question to Sonu. Sonu, when you started your career as a business analyst, so what all the obstacles or the hardship you faced, so that and how you overcome that all? Like when you started a business analyst and you started in a working in a project, so what all the difficulties you faced and how you overcome that?
Okay, so when I started as career as a business analyst, the main part was like I was not getting a job. Okay, I got so many calls, I was not getting a job. But I was not like, oh, I'm not getting what to do. Should I stop looking at this career? I did not do that part. And when I made this first time, when I had 6 offer letters in my hand. That is one part. And when I got in a job, so my strongest part was wireframing. So you know what is the most difficult after getting a job we have. Most difficult part is dealing with cross-functional team. Okay, maybe you are working first time as business analyst, they have worked with some expert, their expectations are very high with you, right? So you need to be open to learn from them, learn from client, learn from everyone. Learning should never stop, right? Keep learning, try to have more conversation with them, keep communication. Okay, try to have more brainstorming when you do brainstorming session. So that time it was not COVID era basically, so I used to do especially whiteboard session with our team. And then like they were very, when we were building a product, so they had some ideas in their mind, I had some ideas in my mind, like we came some requirement from the client, so we have to create better product, best product in the market. It's like some unique, complex problem we were solving for client. So you have to collaborate with your team, do the brainstorming is the most important part, I'm telling you. Do brainstorming, this is the most you have to. You will face problem working with cross functional team. Okay, you may face problem writing when you are writing first time the BRD. When you have done it at least one time, you can go, no problem, you can keep writing them. But that's why I'm telling you, take those assignments very seriously, whether it is in class or in interviews. Take those assignments very very seriously. And again, my again the suggestion is, when you have the strong part, my strong part was wireframing. So when I was gathering requirement initially, what I used to do, I did not have that confidence to take the interviews. And when I'm talking to vice president or president, so I did not have that confidence, right? Obviously you will face that problem. So what I did, I used to create wireframe and I used to present that wireframe to those stakeholders, president, those directors of the client side. And that company, Vijay sir, that company
Yeah.
was world's largest claim management company, world's largest.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to present those wireframes in front of client, and after seeing those wireframes, client used to give their feedback, their suggestion. Then I was open to have that conversation. But what was my thought process behind it? What you said in the last meeting? And one more important part is, keep your notes ready. Record your calls when you are having conversation with your client. Obviously you have these tools, these meetings tools. Record those calls. When you are done with meetings, listen those recordings again. Whether you are 7 year experience, 10 year experience, listen those recordings again. Prepare your notes handy, make your notes, and they are going to savior for you, they are going to help you, they are going to build your career as of this, in this profile, those notes.
Okay. So, as I understand and if I may add, you have said that being good in at least one area will always helps a fresher or a new business analyst, because then he can demonstrate his value to the team.
Yeah. So we need to find our value first, then we can create value in product or client, right? We have to find our value. So that's why I'm saying that 80-20 rule. Try to figure out your 20% skills.
Okay. I think this remembrance of Pareto principle is very, very important for us when we need to focus on a diverse set of BA skills. Yeah. Avnish, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. Nitin, it is now your turn. If you have a question, you can speak now. So Nitin is a bit silent. We move ahead. And Pooja, if you have a question, you can speak.
No, I don't have any question. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. So Rashmi,
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
okay.
Thank
No,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please, who would like to speak? Yeah, Rimjim, your turn will
Yeah,
come. Just wait for a while.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Ratish, would you like to speak?
So I don't have any questions, sir. Sonu has already covered that about the
Okay,
challenges of
okay.
the BA.
So good,
Thank
so
you,
good.
Sonu, for that.
Challenges is a key. Mm. Richa, any question from your side? Would you like to speak?
Yeah, hi sir. Actually, uh, yeah, I do have a question in my mind which I would like to ask from Sonu. Hi Sonu.
Richa.
This is Richa. Actually, I have been into marketing and BD department from last 7 years. So, as far as my skills, I'll say that I am good in communicating as well as drafting proposals and agreements, RFPs. So, what would be the as per you, what should I focus more so that I can enhance this thing and convert this into a BA kind of role? Got my
Okay,
point?
so I got your point. So I have one
Yeah.
more question here, Richa. Back
Yeah.
question for you. So you are in marketing or sales? They are two
See, I
different
am
things.
into, yeah, completely. So I am into, I was into sales in an IT company, but currently
Mhm.
I am into BD and you can say marketing. I'm handling digital marketing thing and all. But suddenly I, come across this BA things and I got to know that this is something very interesting. So I would like to move into business analyst role because, this has a, vast, these days, I
Okay.
think this is a best thing. Yeah.
Okay, so there are two type of business analyst. Okay, one is pre-sales business analyst, another
Yeah.
one is post-sales business analyst. So I believe you have already done that pre-sales part. Okay, that
Yes.
RFB, talking, communication, talking to your customer, identify their problems. Then you come to some expert in your team and you ask some
Yeah.
sort of quotation from them. So how much time it will take and what will you do? Okay, my personal suggestion is that you pursue for pre-sales business analyst, but that doesn't mean you don't need to have these skills. Again, you need these skills, these documentation skills you need. Okay,
Yes,
analyzing
yes,
the requirements, analyzing the problems you need. Again, we have to do that interpretation of the problem, right? We need
right.
those skills. Since you are coming from that industry, so my suggestion will be a business analyst, but be in pre-sales. That is going to add more value in your career. I think that can be more helpful for you because you know the activities having happening before the sales, when before they are working, they are start working on that product or platform, right? And you know those activities. So and obviously industry needs those people too. They are very less people, they are moving there, and I am seeing frequently opening for pre-sales business analyst.
Yeah, I got your point, and I was actually expecting this answer because even sir has asked me about this thing. So thank you so much, Sonu. I would be love to learn more about you from the next of the participants' questions. Thank you so much.
Sure. You are on mute.
Yeah,
Vijay sir, you are
yeah,
on mute.
yep. Rimjim, you may speak now.
Thank you, sir. Hi, Sonu. Uh, so my question is, when we apply for a job as a fresher, so what topics interviewer focus the most? What they
Okay.
expect from? Yeah.
So this is not just for you, Rimjim. This is for everyone. You guys are not a fresher here. If you have taken this course, you are not a fresher. So don't be in that situation that I'm a fresher. Okay. So you have to come out of that mindset. Don't take it otherwise. You have to come out from that mindset that I'm fresher, so I should expect some some concession. And why should you do that, right? You are experienced. You are already. If you have taken this course, you have you are already around 3 or 4 years experience. People, I'm telling you. Okay, so don't worry about that. You're not fresher. So questions, so what I have seen in the market, so whether you are 4 years experience or you are 7 years experience or you are 10 years experience, questions are almost same, because responsibility could be changed. Maybe you are just doing the documentation. Maybe you are not a lead business analyst. You are not talking to your customers. You are not talking to your clients, but you are part of those meetings. Eventually you learn from those meetings, right? That could be one case. And the questions are asked, this is for everyone, and general questions are: you have to learn agile, which is the most vast topic these days, agile. And learn documentation also, because you have to do that. You cannot skip this part. You have to do that. People expect it from you and you have to do, right? You cannot skip. Another part in agile says that you do less documentation, focus on the working product. That is fine, but again you have to write user story, right? Those are again documentation skills. Another part. And third part is be in product building mindset. Okay, Ramjim. So you are, when you are using a product, maybe you are using this go to meeting webinar, right? This is the product go to meeting, right? Maybe interviewer can ask you, how will you improve this go to meeting in the interview? So how, what will you do? So you have to keep thinking about the product. Maybe interviewer can ask you, these are more product specific questions, but these days, even when I take interviews in GlobalLogic, even I ask these questions too. This type of questions, the product, we check the design thinking of people. So I'm sure this was topic of BSS class, the design thinking, right? Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, testing. So
Yep.
you have to run through that process, all those questions. If you know how design thinking solve a problem, you can take up any question and you can solve those problems. And yeah, 4 or 5 questions around agile, 4 or 5 questions around your core BA skills, and the most one more important skill is the stakeholder management. That is the most important. In every interview you will face this question: how will you manage your stakeholder? How will you manage your difficult stakeholders? How will you prioritize your requirements coming from difficult stakeholders, coming for easier stakeholders? So you will face these questions also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, keep around your preparation around these points. This is for everyone, because everyone is going to face these questions. Then you have that power to run interview as per your choice, how you want to run that interview, right? I was giving you an example. I was giving an interview in one company, that was an AI company, and based in Noida itself. So I gave around 2 or 3 rounds, and it was my final round, and it was VP round actually. So when I got invite, I checked that VP's profile. So when I checked, he has some expertise in insurance, specifically in claims management. So I learned some keyword from that part. I learned something from there, and I tried to run that interview in that direction. I'll not give you this advice to you. If you have never worked in that topic, don't put that topic, because he is an expert. But you have worked on that topic, try to get that topic in your interviews. Reason being, if they ask and they can relate those topics with their career, with their skills, so they will easily trust you, and they know you have worked on that part. So when I was moving that interview toward the claims management part of the application and the softwares, then I got some confidence that I'm going to be select. And they, like, when next round I had, this was HR round, they gave me what I asked them. So this was the situation, like. So you have to run your interview as your choice. You can do that part. But my focus again is, try to focus on the smaller companies. Don't run behind MNCs. This should be ultimate vision, ultimate target. but you can learn more from smaller companies. They give you a lot of work. Maybe you could be frustrated sometimes. Maybe sometimes you are writing a test cases, you are doing QS work, but that is going to add more value in your career.
So on a lighter note, lesser number of horses pulling the cart. So if anyone who is taking rest, he immediately you see exposed and he gets noticed. So again he has to pull the cart and he can't take rest in a smaller company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So
if you work for 1 year, this is going to put you 3 years ahead of the time. These type of learning you get in smaller companies.
this is indeed a very good advice. And Roshan, it is now your turn to speak.
No, sir, no question, but it's
Yeah, Savita, you may speak now if you have a question.
No, sir.
Okay. Sonia or Tarun, any of you?
Yes, sir. I have one question, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
please.
my question is covered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Sonu, Tarun Tyagi this side. That I just want to. I have only one question. That currently that I'm working in the manufacturing plant as a business operation and Chinese interpreter. So how can I use my Chinese language in a BA profession?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, okay. So there are two things here, Tarun. Okay, one part is uh, one part is you have manufacturing industry experience. Another part is you are multilingual expert.
Right,
And companies are like they are sitting for you who are multilingual expert. So when we are speaking Hindi or English, so we are just one language expert here, only English or Hindi. Okay, Hindi doesn't count in multilingual. This is what we speak by birth. But when you are speaking Mandarin or Chinese companies are sitting there in the market. They are looking for multilingual expert, and you should have more more pointers than anyone else to get a job in the market. Because I'll tell you, there are around 7 or 8 millions, I guess. This was my calculation around in 1718 Chinese in US. And Chinese are living everywhere in the world, not just Indian, but in the everywhere in the world, right? Indians, we used to think that Indians are everywhere, but Chinese are more than Indians. So, and industries take this company called Zoom, or some people are sitting on the higher position there, and some people are directly doing business with Hong Kong and China. So they are looking for those multilingual experts. So this is going to like work for you, not against you. This is can be a very great asset for you. Your language expertise.
So now the one more question that now you said that we should join in the beginning, we should join the smaller company. But now currently, if for example, if I know the Chinese, if I choose for the higher company like the multinational company, then what kind of the problems it will be faced by me?
See, uh, so uh, maybe let me just rephrase your question. So you are Chinese interpreter, that is the different part. You are going to work as business analyst, that's another part, right? That Chinese skills are going to add feather in you, right? That is not going to create a problem whether you are working in a small company, you work in a Japanese company, you work in German companies. If you know Chinese, they are good. They can always take you. Obviously, you know English, right? English is the
Right,
main
right,
language. You have to work in the smaller companies because smaller company majorly have clients from US or some clients from Europe. Multinational company have clients all over the world, right? So when you work in a smaller company, you may not you may not need that Chinese skills, your multilingual skills, but you have those skills with you. You are not going to forget those skills, right? You can always
right, right.
speak, right? When after learning these BA things, after learning your started your career as BA, you can add those skills and you can always be at the better place by using your multilingual skills. So this is my advice for you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Oh, thank you. So, in fact, Sonu Tarun is a expert interpreter in Chinese, so a professional translator, professional interpreter, and he, if I remember right, He is very good in German also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have also completed German from Delhi University.
Oh, then Germany is really very good. Then you can move to Europe because many countries prefer Europe, not German language, not just Europe, not just German, but in Europe, many other countries because Germany is the strongest economy in the Europe, more than UK, more than France and other countries is the strongest economy. So they have that weightage in the Europe market, German language. So this is going to be good for you, Tarun, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so by now our speaker has generously and magnanimously shared his experience, and first round of Q&A is over. Before we move on to the second part of our topic, that is basically how to build your business analyst career, let us have an open session. If any of you, if you would like to speak, just unmute yourself. We will take say something like 2 questions now. Just unmute yourself and you can speak. Anyone, anything which comes to your mind with respect to what we have discussed so far? So Sonu, this audience is a bit quiet today. Each of them is my student. Otherwise, they are quite vocal, quite talkative. But I think either they are listening with full intent or they are a bit in awe. Whatever the case, let's move ahead, and we move ahead with the second part. Once you are in an organization as a business analyst, once you start, how do you make a mark? How do you keep you see achieving milestones, one milestone after another, year after year? Because what I have seen as a trainer, getting or taking up a BA role is an easy job. Being patient and being achieving one's true potential is something what is more important.
Okay, so when we started as like if I personally I started as career as business analyst. So again, there are few things we need to take care of. One part is do mistakes and learn from those mistakes. But when I'm saying mistake, don't start start blundering with your clients and other things, right? When I'm saying there's a scope for everything, right? You are doing mistake, you are learning from those mistakes. If you want to ask some question, no question is bad question, right? If you want to ask some question to your client, to your team, to your senior manager, ask those questions. Don't try, because if you don't speak, you are no BA, you can't do your work. You have to speak. This is your work, this is your duty, and this is what you are getting paid for, right? This is one part. Ask question, do analysis around what you know. That if you are very good in the modeling, if you are very good in like creating workflows or creating entire systems, then you do your analysis around that part. If you are very good around UX, do your analysis around user experience wireframing part, right? If you are very good in documentation, keep your analysis around documentation, try to cover everything those documentation. If you can those part, those smaller chunks, and you can easily make some marks there. So when I'm saying smaller chunks, let's say you are in a meeting, you are gathering some requirement from those, right? Your customers, you have done that part, you have put those garland, right? The beautiful garland, or we can call it a document, and you showed the document to your customers, your managers, so they are very happy. Definitely, it has left a mark for you, and this is going to be an appreciation for you. So you are going to an appreciation if you have created entire workflow, and workflows are really very complex. If you have done that part, this is going to some mark for you. If you have done some wireframes, you have created entire, and people can visualize those wireframes. These are the main skills I'm telling you, because you can easily relate. You have learned these skills, and you have to work around these skills only. So if you can write, you can create beautiful wireframes. They are talking to each other, they know where to click, what to get, right? Then this is going to create like big value for you in your organization. So everyone can refer, oh, you have to create a document, let's say your senior manager has to talk to some other BA. You are going to create documents. Take this guy's document. This was awesome document. So do work like that, and always try to learn new things. Do Google, do learn from your managers. You can always learn from anyone, even from your juniors, your seniors, your peers, from everyone. So keep that scope open.
Shall I ask you one question?
Sure.
How good are the skills, the business analyst skills which we learn in our business analyst program? Do they help us on the job? Do those skills help us
Yeah,
on the job?
they are aligned to market. Definitely they are aligned to market. But again, my point is only there are multiple skills you are teaching in the program, and students are learning those skills. But the bigger problem is we keep ourselves stick to all these things around. Try to find just two or three skills, work around those. Keep learning all skills, but keep those skills your strongest skill in the market. And one more part, before getting a job, what happens, you gave an interview, you got rejected, which is good. You gave another interview, you got rejected again. But you have to enhance your CV after every interview, which tells you what changes needs to be made in the CV, because your interviewer going to ask you a question from your CV, right? This is what I asked, what I said, that you can run your interview as per your power, as per your choice. How do you want, what question you want them to be asked, right? So be prepared from that position. So when you are working organization, there's a different part. You can crack a job easily, but working is very difficult part. For that working chapter, these skills are going to work for you, what you learned in this program.
Okay. Can you share in a bit brief, say some very challenging project where you have to work as a business analyst? Very, very challenging.
Okay, so one project, it was again an insurance product, and so I'll tell you the complexity of this product. There were around 14 or 15 integration, third party integrations. So there was data science, there was product development, there was data ingestion, there was cloud computing, there was manual rule engine. Now there were around 900 user stories, and I was there. There were around 59 team members, and I was only business analyst in the team.
Okay.
See how complex it was. The value of that product was around $3 million. This is how
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I think coordinating with all the stakeholders, including your team members and the client, would have been a challenge.
Yeah, so some stakeholders are sitting in UK, they are taking decision on infrastructure. Some stakeholders are sitting in US, they are taking decision on the business part. Some stakeholders are sitting in Australia, they are taking decision on operation part. Some stakeholders are there in India also, they are taking the development part. And now we have to get requirement from everyone. There could be infrastructure requirement, there could be like non-functional, there could be functional requirement. And the biggest part is the prioritization. Everyone wants to have their requirement first in the product. We can't
Okay.
do that, right? We can't keep everyone happy. So we have to do that part also. Like हम किसी के बुरे नहीं बन सकते.
Yeah.
So we have to take that also. Then we have to, you have to justify. This is interview question also. How will you
Yeah.
prioritize the requirement? So we have to figure out the pros and cons. We have to figure out the value, right? There are different kind of prioritization techniques. So you have must have learned that Moscow technique, must have, should have, could have, and won't have program.
Yeah.
But apart of that, there are few others, like which item is adding more value. We have to put that on the first. This is coming from other stakeholders. So like
Yeah.
that. So
Interesting.
these are the stakeholder is definitely is one challenge, and you don't know कब गुस्सा हो जाता है कोई क्या हो जाता है, you don't you never know. This is the problem, and you have to deal with them.
So how do you handle a stakeholder who is abruptly angry?
I personally believe in communication.
Okay.
Okay, so if they are angry, I listen them patiently. Okay, 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 yeah, okay, okay. Then I try to give them quickly something, maybe some sort of solution, not a real product, but solution. When they see the solution, they are happy. Okay, yeah, this is I wanted. Yeah, okay, this is fine. But listen them carefully what they are trying to say. When specifically when they are very higher seniors, like they are VP, they are executive directors, or they are the C level executives. They have a limited time, and they will not talk to you about how to implement that they will just talk to you about their vision, and you have to think their goals. Maybe they are trying to goals like they want to add new customer in this quarter or in this year. So you have
Okay.
to take requirement their other people, like their SMEs, their other managers, from their stakeholders. You have to figure out them, this is how it should work. So I believe in communication. When they are angry, I listen them, I try to understand the pain point what they really have, right? I try to give them solution, and I have some justified solution. I tell them this is how why it was not done, and this is what we want to take it next. So this is I do.
I think these are very important and very practical pointers which our students can answer, because you see, this is one of the common questions in a business analyst interview.
Yeah, 90% interview you will get this question.
Yeah. So communication is the key, as you say.
Keep communicating.
Okay. Okay. So interesting. Let me see if there are any supplementary questions from the audience. Anyone, if you have a specific question which is specific to you, towards your career, towards the career challenges which you are facing, this is your time.
Yeah, Vijay sir, this Vijay here.
Yeah, Lijoy, please speak.
One small question actually, because I am also facing the same issue, means how Sonu told. Okay, Sonu, I have one scenario. Like I was discussing the requirements with the stakeholders, and I applied the Moscow rule, like must have, should have, could have, and would have. And many of the user stories, it came as a they told like it should be there or it must be there, like that. So is any scenario you can explain where you have applied multiple techniques so that to overcome this sort of condition? Like
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay, I'll give you some example. So, very first technique is P1, P2, P3. Ask them. You don't do any prioritization first thing. You will do when I'll tell you. Ask them, what do you want, right? Do you want this feature or not? First send that list to those customers. I'll give you another example, but I have multiple things in my mind now. Then this must have, should have, could have technique. Okay, Moscow. If this
Yeah.
technique is not working, then there is a technique called important versus urgent.
Yes.
What is important? What is urgent? If anything is very urgent and important, to do it first in first shot, right?
Yeah.
Another technique is what is value versus cost. Which item has more value, lesser cost, then we will do that part first, right? So when you are doing your analysis, you do that part. When I'm saying P1, P2, P3, so how will you do that? So there is a one method called $100 method. Okay. So what we do in that method, we give $100. Let's say we have 10 requirements. They gave us 10 requirements, and we give $100 to that stakeholder, every each stakeholder. Okay, now you have to divide these dollars in these requirements. Some requirement they give $20, some requirement they give $1, some requirement they give $5, $7, $10, whatnot, right? So which requirements have a higher dollar value? That is the requirement one. This is the P1 going to be, right? And we will take it first. It's the golden rule. You can apply this technique in your prioritization. But again, when you are prioritizing your requirement, it should be aligned to your sprint goal. It should be aligned to your product goal. It should be aligned to your product vision. Otherwise, like just you are just pulling your horse. That's a thing. Okay. Hope this helps, Vijay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any question?
Yes, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, interviewer asked me that he gave me one scenario question, like suppose your given project is not going to be complete on the given date. Suppose let's tomorrow on 17th. Today you got to know that your project is not complete, then how you will manage that stakeholder?
Okay, so first of all, if someone is asking you any question, whether you are working in a project or you are giving your interviews, ask your question, clarify the question, then answer. Okay, just if you are giving an interview, that doesn't mean that you have to answer everything. Okay, so you have to answer this question. So let's say there was a date of 17 and we are not able to complete that. So first thing is root cause analysis. We will be doing the root cause analysis. It could be 5 why or fishbone. There are some other technique we can using that root cause, but we will do it later. Let the 17 come first. The first we have to deliver. Now there are few things. Maybe are we not delivered to like few items, few stories, or like uh, some things which is like we have some spillovers. When I'm trying to say, right, we have some spillovers. Are we going to take it to the next sprint, or and before that, our one question is: are we working in waterfall or agile? Most probably, every project is being done in agile these days. 90-95% projects are being done in agile, so most of it will be agile. So agile, when I'm doing, so 17 it is not completed. So whatever spillovers I have, I'll put those spillovers back in backlog. I will reprioritize those spillovers. Okay, this is one part. What I will do. Another part is how I will convince our stakeholders. So for to convince our stakeholders, I have like it's not like 17 has passed and I'm telling them, oh, we will not able to do that. We must be having that analysis and we are discussing with our team, so we know this is not going to be complete. So we will give them some sort of ideas why it is delayed. It is delayed because of we had some interruption in our team. It was delayed out because we had some infrastructure problem. It was delayed because we have some stakeholder unavailability, or we had some other requirement issues why it was not delivered. Okay, end of the day, you are not delivery manager here. You convey that message to your delivery manager that this is happening. Okay, this is not, you are not doing anything wrong. Okay, so you have told them that this is the current situation of the project, and they are going to talk to the higher management. They try to not to get some escalation, but these things happen in majority projects, because some what happens when project ramp up, we do not get access, we do not get infrastructure access, we do not get our id access of the client accounts, right? We do not get the requirements. When project ramp up, once one or two deliveries go softly, then we keep delivering on the time. So this is how it happens. So maybe you have to take things like what are the spillovers, we have to put it back. What are the prioritization, what were the problems, what were the root cause analysis we did, why it was not, we were not able to do it. So these are few things you need to take care.
Okay, Sonu, thank you.
Yeah.
So clear. And I'll just add one more point, that we should not keep the client in for a surprise. If there is going to be a delay, I think if we inform him a bit in advance, it will help.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying, that don't inform that after 17. Oh, we were not able to complete this. Keep them informed. Keep communication again. Keep communication with them. If you are having some hurdles, if you're getting some problems from your side or maybe from client end, maybe customer end, you keep talking to them. Right? This is what we are facing, so they know it doesn't go as surprise to them. So yeah, and you can easily convince anyone if you are communicating with them.
Okay. So clear and continuous communication.
Yeah.
So other participants in the audience, this is your time if you would wish to speak.
I'll give you one more problem, infrastructure problem.
Yeah.
This is the biggest problem you will face, and your team will face actually. You will not alone face this problem. Your team will face. You work for any client, whether it is Microsoft, Apple, or any big bank.
Yeah.
You will never get your infrastructure ready on the time. So you have to be ready mentally for that.
Okay. So this is a real challenge.
Yeah, this is a real challenge.
How can
Okay.
we overcome this? Like you said, like it will not come in time, right? Like if same thing, if interviewer asks, like how
So
can we answer?
this is
Like what's the best
this is
answer?
one time this is one time affairs. Okay, so we know when we have to deliver. Customer also knows when they have to deliver, like what are the targets for us. So you keep communicating, tell them the urgency of the requirements, right? We need this part. If we don't have our access, we cannot access your properties. We cannot access what we have to build. We cannot write the code there. So you need to tell them urgency of those requirements, those things, right? So this is how you can overcome. So you have to communicate again.
So teething troubles, as we call them.
Yeah, teaching troubles, and like this is one time affair. So once you are given, then you will this will be very smooth for you.
And out here, Sonu, if I may add, mm, say infrastructure is not ready or project is having some teething troubles. If a business analyst is having a temperament wherein he can do some heavy lifting or front loading of work when the person is a bit relaxed or the project is in the startup phases, then I think it will surely help him during the later stages of the project. What is your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, doing heavy lifting is always beneficial. Reason being because we are doing out of context thing here. Maybe everyone can recognize for career perspective, this is very good, and obviously from the product success, the project success, right? And end of the day, we have to deliver successful product. So
Yeah.
this is yeah, this makes us successful. So doing heavy lifting work, you are maybe taking some extra things, or you are talking to you start doing the delivery things. That is going to help. Even I keep doing these stuffs.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, in my in one of my project, I was doing some testing, and there was no QA basically, and I was doing some testing. When I sent that product to UAT to the client, and it was like literally zero bug.
Okay.
So now, without QA, I was able to deliver that product. Obviously, I should get appreciation, right, for that. So without zero work, and UAT was done in a week. So this is how it works. Like we have to take like it is not. This is not my KRA. I cannot do that. Everything is BSK KRA. You have to do everything. You can do everything.
Yeah. So, dear participants in the audience, if you have any more questions or anything to ask from our speaker, you may speak now. Last and the final call.
Uh, Vijay sir, I have one more question. Is it permissible to ask many questions?
Please, please. So welcome.
I'm very sorry.
You are
Uh,
welcome.
yeah. So no, one more last question from my side.
No, you can ask as many as you want.
No, no,
No
others also
problem.
there. It's coming, whatever is coming, I'm asking actually. Still,
Sure.
when the development starts, actually, so we are not aware of the team velocity, like how speed the development team is going to finish the user stories. So when exactly we come to know the speed velocity of the team, like how much they are going to complete, or how we should what should we do from our, as a BA, what should we do from our side to get the team velocity and all those things.
Okay, so when you are saying team velocity, so I'm presuming you are working in Scrum environment, and I'm presuming you are working as product owner. Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Not kind of. It is the real case. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, so when we are talking about the team velocity, Lijoy, so the very first thing is in the first sprint or the second sprint, you hardly can find the team velocity. So you don't tell team velocity in your first or second sprint. This is the truth of the industry, okay? And no one will ask you.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you have some story point and you have, based on a story point, when you are creating your burn up chart, okay, so on that burn up chart you can predict that these are the story point, these are the 20 story point, these are the 13 story point, or those we cannot calculate, right, those stories. So we have, you have put those on the story point chart, on the burn up chart, and when you are working on that sprint 1 or 2, then your team is, see, it's a teamwork. So agile, when we are working on agile, so no one is responsible for nothing, it's a teamwork, it's always a team. So team estimate those stories, like what, how many stories we can do, but your responsibility is here that you break down those stories, you break down those epics, you break down those features in like really very that what we call that invest manner, right, that user story characteristics. If you are putting writing your story in that manner, they can easily estimate those stories. When they are estimating those story, then for the next sprint they estimated 20 stories velocity, right, 20 stories. So that is going to be your team velocity in the beginning. If your stories breakdown is fine, if it is not fine, then it will always the back to the question what like someone was asking related to that spillovers, and we will not be able to complete those stories, then this is going to backfire. So the main important part of BA or PO is here, you break those stories effectively in investment manner, so then one story can should be done in max 2 or 3 days, it should not take beyond that, right? So when you are estimating a story, when someone is asking a product owner how much time this product will take to complete, then you have a story point there. You have like when you will get the best or worst, so there are three velocity in agile. One is the best velocity, another one is the worst velocity, and the current velocity, right? So best, worst, or current, you need to complete 4 or 5 sprint, then you will able to figure out what is the best, what is the best, and what is the current is going. And you have number of what we call it, number of story point there, then you can easily tell this will take how many sprints to complete.
Okay.
Did I answer
Yeah.
your
Thank
question, Vijay?
Yes, yes, yes. Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's not always that you have to answer. Like sometimes you just keep doing analysis, and maybe after 3, 4, 5 sprint, you will be able to tell them that this is my current velocity. If I do go by best velocity, this will take these many sprint. If I go by worst velocity, this will take these many sprint. If I am going with current velocity, then this will take these sprint. So this is the real answer, and this is how I answer.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So usually market is following 2 weeks sprint or four. I am not seeing lately 4 week sprint because client wants to have that product increment very soon. So usually it's 2 week sprint, and in every 2 weeks sprint, no one is when product start and no one is going to ask you 2 weeks soon kab khatam hoga, right? So don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So interactive, so valuable for all of us. Yeah, who's
Hello,
speaking?
Vijay sir. Can I ask one question to Sonu, please?
Yeah, please, you are welcome.
Sonu, just I want to know, like, if you're from non-IT background and you're not any domain expertise, then if you would like to start your career as a BA, what are the efforts or any extra preparation need to be done, or what are the challenges they might face when they attend an interview or anything?
Okay, the only see domain expertise, everyone doesn't come with domain expertise. And if someone has domain expertise coming from the bank or some coming from the insurance, underwriting, or other operation function, then they may not have IT knowledge. So you rarely get the combination, right? If you get the combination, then you may face some lesser problem. But when you start in your career as like non-IT people, so the main problem is to get a job. This is what you actually, your question is actually how you will make it to, right? So the thing is, you when you are doing your interviews, you know basic vocabulary of BA profile now, what are BRD, what is Agile, what is burned up chart, right? What is product owner, what is a Scrum. You know the basic vocabulary of your career, what you are going to be in, but you may not know the vocabulary of the industry, right? So to get that, overall, you will get 60-70% vocabulary in this program also. But if you like going to face some interviews, then you will learn those from those interviews. You will fail in 2, 3, 4, 5 interviews, but when you will be sitting in the next interview, sixth or seventh interview, your confidence will be up, and you will not like be like the first interview. Oh, I don't know this. So yeah, maybe you will face some rejection, but you will be able to make it. That's not a problem.
All right. Yeah, all right. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
because
sir.
the industry, see, you have to work that you know, but the vocabulary of the industry is again the IT domain, I will say it, right? So you need to learn that domain out of those interviews. So that's why I was telling you guys that you need to refine your CV after every interview. You have to refine yourself after every interview. Maybe you have given right answer, you have to again do retrospective for yourself that did I answer right? Maybe some situation will come you when you are sleeping and you are thinking about those questions, how to answer those questions. This situation will also come, but you will be able to make it. That is for sure. I'm telling you 100%. If you follow simple rule of learning and try and just the tricks I told you, the Naukri.com, the career start career, you will be able to make it a successful career. I'm telling you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
So we have also come towards the end of the allotted time. Our speaker has generously provided us, you see, more than an hour today. And I'll just summarize some key points, what Sonu has mentioned to the audience. And indeed, it is so valuable to me also. Um, Point number one, follow the Pareto principle or 80-20 rule. There will be some 20% of the BA skills in which you should be exceptionally good at, and in which you should be able to make your mark and identify yourself with distinction, whether it is in the interview or whether it is your first job or subsequent jobs. One. Two, you need to work upon your CV and you need to work upon your vocabulary. As you face interviews one after another, work upon your prior interview experience, refine your vocabulary, and refine your CV as well. So this is one thing. And as you refine your CV, as you are appearing in interviews, your CV is also on the top of the stack on resume portals like Naukri or Monster. This is yet another thing. There are certain common questions which are being asked in business analyst interviews, as we have learned from our speaker. These questions are typically questions in areas like Scrum, areas like, you see, behavioral questions, how do we deal with our stakeholders, and then some specific JD to JD questions which may be relevant to job descriptions. If you are having domain expertise, well and good. If you don't have that, move ahead. There are plenty of jobs available in the market for business analysts wherein domain expertise is not essential. So I think this is what I have summed it up. If I have missed any key points, Sonu, you can add quickly and
So,
you
sir,
can have your.
you pretty much covered everything. So my advice is, just if you're facing some rejection after interview, don't go downward, don't like feel bad. This should be good and you will get it. This is not a problem, because it happens with everyone. It happens with the experienced people also. So don't worry about that. Okay, and you are not fresher, you are also experienced, almost 3 to 5 years experience, and you can make it easily. But you have to follow these things. This is what I did. I'm telling you my real experience, right? When I used to update my Naukri profile, I used to update my CV after every interview, because some interview I wrote something and I did not know that part. He caught that, obviously bad impression, right? So I changed all those things. And so you don't have to write 20 skills. You don't know, that's okay. We don't need to tell those 20 skills. This is our core work, and we will focus those on those skills only. So this is my only advice for you. Work on that, learn on that, and keep doing that.
Okay. One question which comes to my mind, which is a bit aside than what we would have discussed up to this point. You have done really well in your career in last 5 years. Mm, Since you have been part of the business analyst program, just as these individuals are few years back, how has been the progress of your other batchmates? Are they equally successful, or what is your take on that?
I think as I know few, Chandan is in HCL. He is working for some top-notch banking client, and Shelly is in Accenture, I guess. I spoke to few days back, and
Okay.
everyone is doing. Someone is in Big Four, so like around 90. Abhishek is in 90 Data. Is working for some
Data.
bigger card network, right? So everyone is in some good organization. It's not like that everyone is sitting somewhere or somewhere. In fact,
Okay.
yeah, everyone is in good organization, and everyone has made few switches and some learning. But everyone went in the smaller companies, except one or two. So everyone went in the smaller companies, then reached on those companies. So that was the
So,
target.
so shall I say, where there is a will, there is a way, and hard work will pay sooner or later?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It will pay for sure. This is a guarantee. This it will pay for sure. If
Pay
you
for sure.
learn, yeah. And another important advice I'm saying, since we started this session, don't like underestimate your assignments, your institute assignment, your class assignment, or your interview assignment. Those are very important. And in those assignments, you try to solve the real time problem. Do it yourself. Take help from expertise. Take help from your friends. Do it as a group, right? Discuss question as a group. Chandan, I used to write those questions on Google Sheet, and we used to share that. Oh, this question was asked in Infosys. This question was asked in Wipro. This in EPM system. We have around 50, 100 questions list in the that Google Sheet. These
Okay.
questions were asked. Maybe I can share with you guys also. So that is going to
Sure.
help. These are the real industry question.
Yeah, that will really help the audience.
and and we both, after interview, we both used to solve those questions on phone. This should be like that, this should be like that. And when we are sitting in the next interview, oh, then we were able to rate those questions. Okay, this should answer like that. And
Okay.
when we are working in real project also, those are going to help in those project also.
So, shall I say that some real hard work and focus on the discipline is also important?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes some individuals get a bit worried about how they are going to make the cut, and which is pretty much logical also, but worrying beyond a point will not help.
You have to keep trying. Worrying will not help, trying will help.
Okay, I think this is so. This line is something which we need to remember, and I'll quote this line in the class also in subsequent sessions. Yeah. So, Sonu, thank you so much for your time, for your valuable experience. For for me and for the entire audience, it has been a valuable session, and I'll tell you that it has been so energizing for all of us, because sometimes when we have a target to achieve, we require some external impetus and external energy so that we keep moving and we keep climbing. So
It is always,
thank you for
yeah,
all this. Yeah.
it is very always fun. And my last thing is, if any one of you uh, get connected with me on LinkedIn, if you need any help, just reach out to me. I help many people on LinkedIn. So many people call me once they are in, they take advice for this
Yeah.
role. So yeah, so just reach out to me in LinkedIn if you are facing any problem, and I will try to solve that problem for you. And yeah, don't worry about
Yeah.
that. And you will get something bigger, and you will make it. I'm telling you. Okay, just keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So this
so
time,
nice of.
one more. Yeah, one
Yeah,
more
please.
thing. Sorry, sorry. I have Sunday, so just
No,
getting
no,
some
please.
thought. So
Yeah.
So maybe what is happening in the market these days, there is just some rumors or some rumbling of recession. So actually, I'm not seeing any recession. Companies has put some freeze on the hirings, right? So like, don't worry about that. It is just 3 or 4 or 5 months affair. You will get soon easily. So if you are not getting called, don't worry about that. Just focus on your learning, and maybe if you get connected with me, or I'll share some assignment with sir, some industry assignment. Maybe you can work on those assignments and keep doing those parts, right? So recession usually doesn't go beyond 16 months or 15 months, and actual recession is just 4 or 5 months, where people just that uh, that happens, the job and all crisis happens. So don't worry about that. Recession, it keeps coming and going. Your focus lives with you. So your skills lives with you. So focus on your skills, be with them, and keep learning.
Okay, thank you. So from my side and on behalf of the entire audience, big round of applause for you, and thank you so much. Thank you. We are glad that you are here, and we have learned so much from you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Nice talking to you. Nice interaction. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. And
Thank you, Sonu. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
so, so dear participants, it has been a wonderful session. If you have a feedback on this session, Sonu, who's our speaker, he has left. So what we can do, I'll close this session now, and we will meet again on the same link in another 15 minutes time, wherein we will have our regular Sunday training session. So I'm closing the session now. We meet again, and we will have our regular studies.
Sure, sir. Thank you all.